recording, and that's it. Okay, well, let me share the screen. Okay, well, so okay, as you remember, we discussed childhood, and of course, we talked about be in past tense, was and were, and now we're going to talk about two other things. There was, two other phrases, and there were. As you know, okay, we use there is and there are when we want to say that something exists or is in a place. For example, there is a book here, so something exists or is in a place. We use there is or there are. And when it comes to past, of course, we need to change be to past tense, so was and were. There was and there were. This part is really easy, basic, you notice, so I'm not going to discuss more, but there is something here that we need to know. How to make negative states. For example, I can say, there wasn't, okay, there wasn't any cars, okay, on the street. Okay, so there wasn't any cars on the street when it comes to past, when we're talking about past. Now, actually, the point is here, any. Okay, to make a negative statement or question. So for question, interrogative, or negative, we use any. But how? We can say, for example, were there any books? For example, were there any books? Okay. Were there any books and shelves? Okay. So something like this. Any should be followed by singular or plural. Both terms are acceptable. So, but there is something. To make negative statement, you can use any and no, both of them. I'd rather no. No is, I think it's better. I don't know, of course, it's your choice, but I'd rather this one than any. So, for example, I say, there was no car, okay, in the street. So, there was no car. Okay, so as you can see, when we use no in order to make negative statements, we don't need to add not to, was, or were. So there was no. So if we want to use any, we need to, in negative statement, we need to add not. So there isn't anyone here. There isn't anyone here. There was no one here. So when you use no for a negative statement, you don't need to make your verb negative. Just you have an affirmative, a positive statement, but it means a negative statement. So they're the same. But any can be used in question and negative. For negative, we need to make changes in be. That is, we need to add not. There wasn't any cars on the street. Okay? Well, if you want to make question or interrogative form, you can't use no. So what was, for example, was there no car? No, any. So you can use any for question and negative, and no just for a statement that actually mean like negative. Well, so this is about there were and the was. Look. Let's read this dialogue together. Okay, let's just conversation and this dialogue together, and then we'll discuss there was and there were. Okay, so you, Jesse, me, Henry. Okay.
I'm Jesse, right?
Yeah, you're Jesse.
I really want to go to Ho Chi Minh City someday.
Oh, I was there before when I was young.
Really? I never know that.
Yes, when I was at primary school, I was in Ho Chi Minh City with my grandparents.
How was the city back then? I guess it's were the same as now, right?
As I remember, it was completely different from now. The streets was quite empty and there wasn't many motorbikes and cars. There weren't many motorbikes and cars.
Interesting. Was the air much polluted like now?
No, of course. The air was fresh and everything was very cheap.
How about you, Henry? What were you like when you were young?
My grandma always says that I was really talkative when I was a little boy.
And you are exactly the same now.
I guess, I think so. Oh, okay, so as you can see, there weren't many motorbikes. So, okay, many or any here, actually, there's a point here, many or any. When we say any, it means nothing, zero. But when we say many, it means not too much. So there weren't many motorbikes. It means not too many, so not a lot of, okay? But when we say any, it means nothing, okay? So that's the difference. So you can use many or much in negative statement, it's okay. There weren't many motorbikes and cars, okay? And of course, we'll learn about it was, and for example, we were, okay, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Well, something really actually important that you need to know. Of course, we have different verbs, regular and irregular. And now we're going to talk about these two types of verb. Regular verbs, a verb like, for example, listen, or, for example, decide. Okay? Irregular like go, like, for example, see, like it. Okay, what's the difference? Actually, the difference is in past tense. For regular verbs, if you want to make a past tense, you need to add ed. So we say listened. I listened to music. And here I decided here because actually the verb ends in E, I don't need to, okay, here, sorry, here because the verb ends in E, we don't need to add E again, so just D, so plus D.
Yes.
I decided to go out yesterday. So I listened, I decided. They are irregular verbs. Okay, so we don't need to make changes in the form or shape of verb. But we have some other verbs that you know, like go, see, it. Actually, they need to be changed to past. The form of verb needs to be changed to past tense. For example, we say go, went. I went out yesterday. See, saw. I saw a movie yesterday. I ate. I ate pizza yesterday. So you need to change the shape and form of verb to past tense, okay? Of course, we have another part of verb that is past participle. I'm not going to talk about it now. Just present and past. So past simple, regular, irregular. Now, let's do something. Okay, we want to write some sentences and make questions and, of course, negative statements. So, for example, I say, I went out yesterday. I went out yesterday. This is an affirmative or positive sentence, normal sentence. Now I want to make question. Okay, do you know what auxiliary I need to make question? For example, for present, I say do. Do you go out? Okay, what should I use for past? Do you know?
Mm, did, did, did,
And, of course, did you? And
did
what
you?
structure? Did plus subject plus base form again. Present form. Did you go out
Go.
yesterday? Say, and the answer is yes, I did. No, I didn't. So, yes, I did. No, I didn't. Okay. And when you want to say, okay, I didn't go out, again, for negative statement, you say, I didn't go out yesterday. So as you can see, when we use auxiliary, no matter what the time is, present, past, future, okay, when we have auxiliaries like do, does, did, will, or modal verbs like can, could, should, may, okay, so if we have them, we need to use base form after that. So I didn't go out, okay? Well,
Okay.
for example, I say me, what did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday?
Um, I went to restaurant yesterday.
I went to the restaurant and ate, for example, some seafood or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use some verbs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is about regular, irregular. So we have some different, actually a list of regular, irregular that I will send you after class. So what
Yes.
happened? What
So
happened?
too long, right?
Yeah, a list of, but there is something, something here. You don't need to memorize. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to memorize all of them. Just, you know, you separate, you divide, for example, these verbs into maybe 10 parts. Okay? Today I need to learn 3 of them. Just this. I don't want you to memorize them, not,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Just,
Yeah.
step by step, maybe every day, 3 verbs, okay, present and past, and that's it. Of course, we don't have any issues about regular because you only need to add ed and that's it. And you
Mm-hmm.
only need to learn irregular. So any verb that is not irregular is regular. So that is really easy to learn them. Of course, not, I don't want to memorize all them in one day. So during we have time, so just you need to just take a look, you know? No matter. Okay. Well, so do you have any questions related to this grammar, this structure?
I got it. I got it.
Very good, of course,
Yeah.
of course. Okay, now, well, okay, now, we're gonna talk about, or maybe cities, okay, your hometown, okay? So you're gonna talk about your hometown. How has it changed during the time, okay? So I want you to talk about it and compare it. Past and present. Okay, let's get started. Of course, I need you to use some verbs in past tense. For example, okay, just let's talk, then I will ask you this question. Well, how was your hometown in the past?
Mm-hmm. And, um, my hometown uh, was were a quiet place uh, in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but today's my hometown is crowded.
Mm-hmm. Were there many constructions in the past in your hometown? Construction means building. So instead of building, we use construction.
My hometown uh, mm, was no building and factory in the past. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Now there was many factories and building.
Okay, so we say, so
There
you
is,
say
sorry,
there
there is,
wasn't, okay, you say there
there was,
wasn't,
there
or
was,
there were not, there
there
weren't,
was.
for example, many factories or
Mm-hmm.
buildings, but there are, so
There
you need
are,
to change
yeah.
it to present, but there are, but now there are lots of buildings, maybe constructions, okay, so something like this. Okay, well, and tell me, how was the weather in the past? You know, was the air polluted the same
Um,
as actually now or no?
mm, in the past, the air was fresh, and now the air is polluted,
Air
polluted,
pollution, of course.
pollution.
So,
Yeah.
okay. And uh, tell me about vehicles. Okay. Did people use public transport in the past?
Uh, no, no, they didn't. No, they
Okay.
didn't.
So
Uh,
how was transport in the past?
um, they they uses bicycle and motorbike.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
used
they
bicycles
uses
or,
uh,
okay, well, okay. And so we can say there were not, let me actually make a whole and let me summarize something that you said. Okay, there weren't many buildings, many constructions. So this is the first thing. Constructions, it means buildings. There were not many buildings. There were not many constructions. But now there are lots. And there were more green spaces, something like, parks,
mm-hmm.
trees. Okay, so there were more green spaces. And of course, people didn't use public transport. Okay, people didn't use public transport. And you can say something. There was no hustle and bustle. So this idiom, as I told you before, we can use this
Mm-hmm.
idiom. There was no hustle and bustle, no noise, no
There were
crowd.
no
Okay.
hostel,
Yeah,
so,
there was no hustle and bustle in the past. Well, okay. But nowadays, everywhere is really crowded. Okay. There are lots of cars on the streets. So, something like this. Okay. So, let me ask you some questions. What were you like when you were young?
uh, when I was young, I liked uh, I liked to live in countries, my hometowns. My hometown.
Okay. Now, here it's a bit, this question maybe it's a bit confusing. So, what were you like when you were, I'm talking about you. I didn't say what did you like. What were you like? It means, for example, I was talkative, I was quiet, I was calm, naughty, active. Okay, so, and you can say, you can talk about, for example, I say, what did you look like? You can talk about your appearance. For example, what did you look like when you were young? Okay. And I say, for example, you say, I was thin. For example, I had short hair. Okay. So look
Mhm.
like and like. I don't say, what do you like? That you say, for example, I like my hometown. Okay, so
Yeah.
what were you like? So you can talk using these words for appearance
Mhm.
and personality, of course, some adjectives in order to talk about your personality. And that is really interesting. So, what were you like when you were young? And, we have tall. For example, I was tall when I was young and now I'm short.
Ah, when I
Ah,
was
they're
young,
crazy. They're
I have a
crazy.
short hair. I have short
Yeah, of
hair.
course. I
I
had.
had
This
short.
is, yeah,
I
had,
had a short hair.
shorter. Yeah.
Uh,
My skin, for
my
example.
skinny dog. My skin were dark.
And okay, so I want to know that, for example, okay, because I think this question has problem. Because when you say, for example, what were you like? And say, okay, about personality, okay, you can change. But
Mhm.
about appearance, for example, I don't know. Okay, about your weight, it's okay. But about your hair is okay. But about the skin color, for example, when I was young, I used to be, I don't know, pale, fair, and now I'm dark. So it's a bit, I think. Okay, well, so keep going.
Um, I was. I were. I was. I were teens. I were teens.
Yeah, of you were, of course, of course. How,
I were teens. Oh
let me say
God.
something. Let me
Uh,
teach you a trick. Of course, sometimes you want to talk about past. For example, your habits in the past, something that you did or you had in the past, but now you don't. And you forget the verb. For example, okay, I want to say that verb past tense, I don't remember. Just say I used to verb. Used to is really good. For example,
mhm.
I
I used to.
used to verb. After used to, you only need to base form. So anytime, of course, used to is used to talk about actually something that you did in the past, but now you don't. So pay attention. Okay, so, or your habits in the past. For example, I used to like seafood in the past, but now I
Mhm.
don't. Or negative, in the past, I didn't used to. I will talk about this later because we don't have time, so I skip this. Just, this is a trick. I used to wear jeans
Mhm.
when I was young. And
I used to wear jeans.
for example,
Ah. Ah. I used to. I used to. I used to. I used to reading book. I used to read books.
excellent. I
Yeah,
used to
I used to
read
read
books. Very
books.
good.
I used to
Very
read
good. I
books.
used to read books, of course. I used to have short hair. I used to
I used to
have short,
have
so you
short
can
hair.
use it. Yeah, you can
Mhm.
use it for, I used to have short hair. And yeah, and there are two words here. First, fair, it means pale skin, like white
Mhm.
without color. So this is fair skin. And
Mhm.
chubby, round. For example, chubby chicks, round chicks, a
Ah,
little overweight.
chubby,
So it's chubby. Yeah, of course.
chubby.
Yeah. And about your personality. So tell me, what were you like in the past?
Mm, ah, I used to active
Okay, I
person.
used to be. I
I
used to
used to
be.
be.
Because you need
I
verb
used to
after
be.
used to. We need,
Yeah.
for example, you want to say I was, But say I used to be, after used to be, I used to be active. And after active, you don't need to say person. Just I used to be active.
YouTube
Yeah, that's enough.
actors.
And
Um, Talkative.
yeah. So did
uh,
I. I
yeah.
was really talkative. Uh, you know,
You sure?
being talkative, being talkative shows that you are really smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
talkative children are
Mm-hmm.
really intelligent, are really
Yes.
smart,
I think so.
So
Yeah.
we were smart.
Yeah. But I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
of
like
course
you.
you. Ah, of course you are. Of course.
I'm
Okay.
like you.
And you can use into, okay, for example, I was into reading books. It means I really liked. So be into, of course, you can use it in present or past. For example, I am into drawing. I'm into painting. I'm into listening to music. Okay, so to be, this is be, and into, and ing or gerund. So I'm into, or I was into reading books. It means I really liked. Okay.
Eat the boobs. Okay.
So tell me,
Sure.
uh, when you were, child, did you used to paint or draw?
Uh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So, okay, so
used
you
to
were good
draw.
at painting? You were good at painting?
Uh, no, I'm not good. I'm not good at
I
painting.
wasn't. I
I
wasn't
wasn't.
because
I
this, yeah, I'm
wasn't.
talking. So I wasn't good at painting. Okay. So, well, so just this, and I'm still look just about this part. And you can talk about similarities or differences. I was short, but of course you know that you need to use but. But about similarities, okay, you can say I'm still. you know, I was really talkative and, I'm still talkative. It means, something like the same,
Still,
as
yeah.
before. So you can say still can be
Still.
used to something like state similarities and
Mhm.
but for differences. For example, I
Mhm.
was shy, but now I'm really extroverted. Okay, so something
Mhm.
like this. Okay, my dear me. Any questions, any issues related to this word?
No teacher.
Okay, just,
No
don't forget about the
teachers.
studying. Okay, so this part, for
Yes.
example, just have a look at these parts. Try to make sentences, okay?
Mhm.
And just this. Well, my dear me, great time with you again and have a very good night. And
Thank
see
you,
you next.
teacher. Bye bye,
My
teacher.
dear.
Bye
Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.